Welcome back. This week we're going to interview Nick Newell's cat because she's in the room more than he is. I can't. I'm not a cat guy. I'm just not a cat guy. My
Say
business.
hi, Layla.
Layla, you named your cat Layla.
Yeah, well, my girlfriend did.
Why? Why like a human name? Are you a guy that names your animals all with human names?
I don't know. No, my other cat's named Boba,
Okay.
like from Star Wars,
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
That one makes sense. Layla. Immediately, I'm thinking of Layla Ali because she's in the news
We
right now.
see, we were gonna do. I wanted to do Han and Leia, but she didn't like Leia because her niece is Leah. So we went with Layla, and then I said, "Well, Han and Layla sounds stupid," so I named him Boba.
Okay. All right. So there was a thought process for that. It
Yeah, there
wasn't
was a
just some
little
random.
process behind it. Yeah,
It wasn't like you just driving down the street and you saw, oh, Layla, yeah, that's what we name it. It's like you have a thought. Okay, that makes sense. All
yeah,
right. Now, you were talking before we started recording that they're doing a movie about you now. They're in the middle of writing a movie about you now. So
yeah. I'm working with some guys. Right now, producer Howard Bird and Mark DeSalle, who actually produced Bloodsport.
mhm.
So we've done some meetings and stuff like that, and we have a project coming up in the future that we're working on.
So is it going to be more like a documentary type of situation, or is it going to be like a movie where they're going to hire an actor to play you, or they're going to hire other actors to play other
It's like a
people?
movie where they hire an actor to play me,
It's going to be. I mean, that could be
but
interesting.
I don't know. I might audition for myself.
I think you can play yourself, but then the other characters have to be other actors. Like the supporting actors would have to be like other actors, but you play you.
Yeah, I was thinking like either I could play me or like Denzel could play me or like
See, I got a problem with Denzel. I think his ears are too big to play you.
I do too. Actually, you know what? He doesn't have the nose.
The nose, yep, and the hairline. The hairline's a little off
Yeah,
too.
hairline, different hairline, and the
Morgan Freeman,
eyes.
though. Morgan Freeman's good.
Yeah,
Morgan matches you pretty well.
I think so too.
That'd be great. Could you imagine Morgan Freeman playing you in a movie? How great would that be?
You're like, this makes no sense, but the movie's awesome.
I know we don't understand this at all, but it's great. So, you're about to whoop somebody else's ass again. Like this is you finally had a loss against Gaethje the last time you guys went out at World Series of Fighting, and that was a tough fight. All the way around for both guys. I was trying to analyze and break it down. That title fight was an extremely tough fight to call and figure out which way it was going to happen. So it was one of those fights that's going to happen eventually. You were 11-0 at the time. At some point, you got to lose. It's the nature of the game. The question becomes, how do you react after a loss? How do you deal with a loss? So take me through the process. A week after the fight, you've analyzed the fight. Now you're back in the gym. How are you dealing with it? Like, what's your way of dealing with losses?
Um, I just kind of took it all in stride. I'm a firm believer in whatever happens, happens, and you have to live with it. And if you dwell on the past and you dwell on things that happened and you can't get over them, then you're never going to progress as a human. You're never going to improve yourself. So to me, it's important to keep constantly improving. So almost instantly, I try to put it behind me. There were certain things about the fight I didn't like that I did, and certain things that happened that weren't ideal. And I don't think I fought to my full potential. I don't think that was the real me. But a lot of people say that when they lose, but I know it's the truth. And all I can do from there on is move on and make a statement in my next fight. Unfortunately, MMA is a very unforgiving sport, and no matter what happens, you can't really live it down. It sticks with you forever. But that's the nature of the beast, and if you can not let things like that bother you, then you can get better and improve, and you're only as good as your last fight. So I plan on making statements from here on out. I lost my amateur debut, so it's not the first time I ever lost. And then I won 13 fights in a row and 12 in the first round. So, I know what I have to do, and I have great coaches behind me, and I'm ready to just move on and make a statement in my home state, Connecticut, on April 10th.
We'll get to your next upcoming fight here in a second, but you said that you weren't at your full potential. That wasn't the best Nick out there. Was it the training? Was it the diet? There's something going on in your personal life? Was there something going on that kind of offsets you, or was it just a bad night? Just that night just had to be a bad night.
There's plenty of things that happen, and it's called being a fighter. You
Nice.
never go in 100%, and you have little injuries, and then you do little things wrong, and I didn't listen to my coach. This is the first fight I was fighting, and my coach gave me a layout. We don't have like intricate game plans, but we have like little things that he'd like me to do and things he told me not to do, and I didn't really listen to him at all. And I listened to him at the beginning, and I hurt Gaethje really bad. I was pretty close to finishing him, and instead of just sticking with the striking and going for trip takedowns, I shot from a mile away, which was really dumb. And then I started taking some punishment on the ground that I never came back from. And he told me not to do that, and now I know to listen to him from here on out. That's why you have coaches, and sometimes you get these ideas in your head, and it seems like a good idea at the time, and sometimes it is. Sometimes it works, but this time it didn't, and I learned the hard way.
Well, there you have it. I mean, that's the loss. Now you've dealt with it. You moved on. Now we got Joe Condon, right? Did I say his last name? Condon. Foxwoods Resort in Connecticut, so it's obviously right there by your home. This is gonna be a good fight. But it's tough for me to really with you. I have a really hard time because I like you as a person. I like what you do for yourself and others, like outside the cage. I like how you act, and so I get biased when I'm thinking about your fights. So I really have a hard time trying to break down and analyze your fights because I'm really biased towards you. It's like trying to break down the same thing with Henderson, the same thing when Couture was fighting, the same with Ryan Couture when he fights. Like I'm biased towards those guys, so I have a hard time really being analytical about it. Can you break down Joe for me as a fighter? Like break him down from your mindset, how you see him as a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, he's had his ups and downs in his career. His record's like 12-7.
Mm-hmm.
He's been doing pretty decent lately. I mean, he just beat Johnny Nunez, who was like an up and comer, and Johnny Nunez is really good. I've seen Johnny fight, and he beat Ozzy, who's nasty,
Mm-hmm.
and Joe beat him. So that was a statement right there. Maybe something clicked and something switched, but he fights. He's very relaxed. I believe this is his 20th fight. So he's very comfortable in the cage, and his pace is the same from the first to the third round.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily he's a super athlete or like an impressive specimen of a fighter, but he has very good composure, and he's pretty good everywhere the fight goes. So I definitely have a few things I have to look out for, but I'm very confident going in this fight. I feel like this is a very standard thing to say, but I feel like I'm better everywhere the fight goes. That's what everyone says. But if you don't believe that, then you don't have a winner's mindset. And I think I have a wrestling advantage. I think I have a striking advantage. I think I have a jiu-jitsu advantage. But I think he's very good in all three areas. So I just have to be aware. But if I fight my fight, there's no way he beats me.
Let's try to get in Joe's head for a second. He's watching tape on you. He's seen all of your fights. He's watched every single one of your fights he can find anywhere possible, whether it's downloading it from the internet or getting it off his DVR. What do you think Joe's looking at? What do you think he's trying to train for him to have success over you?
I don't know. It depends on the fighter. He seems like more of a jiu-jitsu guy, so maybe he thinks I'll go to the ground and he can submit me, or he'll take me down and do that. But I think I'm one of the better ground guys at 155, and I'm very powerful, and especially I'm a good wrestler. And then from top position, I'm very lethal, and even on bottom, I've won a bunch of fights off my back. So I'm really comfortable anywhere, but he could also think, a lot of people think that if you just spam high kicks on my left side or right hands that I can't defend it, but that's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, I can defend it. Sorry for swearing, but
that's fine, totally fine.
I can defend it just fine. I also can get knocked out just like anyone else, but I mean, there's not an increased chance of it happening just because I have one hand. I have a full arm to block, so he might be thinking of that. I always train for that just in case. I think I also stand lefty. So I don't know. He could be doing some standard righty versus lefty techniques. I know I think his coach is Joe Stevenson, so I'm sure Joe will have a pretty good game plan coming in this fight. So, I'm expecting a good Joe Condon. I'm expecting a tough fight, but
Do you ever expect an easy fight? Like I've called a ton of your fights. I've known you for years. You've never expected an easy fight ever. Even your amateur career, you expected every single fight to be like you put so much personal pressure on yourself sometimes. Like this guy's 3 times tougher. Like it's a big step up in competition. I really got to train hard. And then you go out and you beat his ass. And you're like, this next guy is gonna be so much tougher. You never ever think something's gonna be easy for you. You always believe it's gonna be super hard.
yeah, I mean, I don't think that Joe is as good as Gaethje. I don't. Um, but I do think that he's good, and I do think he's dangerous all around. But if I go in and think I'm going to blaze this dude out in 20 seconds, then and it doesn't happen, then you're like, what? Like, what am I going to do now? So I just expect to beat him from post to post for 3 rounds and put on a showcase. I get my cardio ready. It keeps me motivated, and if I go out there and I whoop his ass real fast, and that's awesome, and I can go eat some food and chill out and relax and take a week off and kind of rebound from my last fight. So that would be ideal. But I just try to get myself ready for anything.
All right, let's talk Pacquiao and Mayweather. Big fights coming up in May 2nd. It's here in Las Vegas. I was supposed to travel. I was actually supposed to go to the Kentucky Derby with a buddy of mine, and then I was like, I can't go, man. Like Pacquiao and Mayweather fighting here in Vegas. Do you have a prediction on that fight?
Yeah, the thing about it is everyone's going with Mayweather. I mean,
I'm going with Pacquiao.
Well, from what I hear, you can't hit him, you can't do this. But the thing about Pacquiao is he has this trouble with volume punchers. Bradley and then Marquez, they throw a lot of punches. Mayweather doesn't fight like that. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. He's very selective in his punching. He's very hard to hit. But I think that Pacquiao has amazing speed and footwork, and I believe that that will guide him to victory. I think Mayweather's really good. I think it's going to be close. But I think that style-wise, it matches up in Pacquiao's favor.
I'm agreeing with you. I also know that Mayweather's style is built for right-handed fighters, and Pacquiao's left-handed. So for him, and he can't change his style. Like he's not going to be able to switch his style up entirely. Specifically for Pacquiao, he's going to have to keep what he knows the best, which is to keep that fading, with that elbow up in the air kind of game that he likes to play. And it's just, I don't know if it's going to do that well. I don't see both guys are counterpunchers, so it's going to be very difficult to get going at any time. But I don't see this thing being a full blast out. It's going to be a long, drawn out fight for both guys. If anyone gets knocked down or knocked out, it's going to be late. It's definitely not going to happen early, so it's going to be a long night of fighting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Pacquiao could walk into a right hand from Mayweather and get knocked out, but I don't think Pacquiao knocks out Mayweather, but I think Mayweather could knock out Pacquiao, but I'm still going to favor Pacquiao.
Yep, I agree. We're in agreement. All right, Nick, we'll have fun. This fight's coming up here on April 10th, the World Series of Fighting 20. It's gonna be a good fight with you and Joe. It's gonna be great to see you back in the cage again. Enjoy yourself. I want to see how this thing pans out. And to be honest with you, I don't think Joe's going to try and take it to the ground. I think he's going to try and keep it on his feet if he's smart enough, because you pose a lot of different problems that people can't train for once you hit the ground. In my opinion,
wait till you see the problems I pose when you keep it on the feet.
Yeah, which is even worse. It's no place is safe, but that's what I think he's going to try to do, is try to keep it on his feet to keep it safe. So, All right, Nick, man, good luck, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.